Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Solidarity Beyond 2021 platform. I see a lot of familiar faces. Good afternoon to Benkian, to Sadayo, to Patrick. Good afternoon, Vishwanan. Good afternoon, Vivanathan. All right. Good afternoon, Karen. Good afternoon, Jazz. Good afternoon, Chiwa. Thank you so much for joining because these are the familiar faces that's been attending our sharing session, training session all this while. Thank you so much. Yes, I got a new haircut. You notice it. Thanks a lot. Yeah. So today's topic it's on marketing for real estate agents. So I will be the one that's going to share on this topic. Yeah. So for those who are new here, do register yourself for our training. Yeah. Scan the QR code. If you are on the PC, do scan the QR code for the registration. And for your information, this training session, this platform is brought to you by three agencies in Solidarity: CBD Properties, Esprit Estate, and Profile Property. All right, good afternoon, Catherine. Good afternoon, Frank. Good afternoon, Elaine. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for coming in. All right, today's is a brand new week, a brand new day. All right, so this topic today that I'm going to share, it's fundamental. It's going to be important for new agents, for experienced agents. I hope it brings some different perspective, or maybe you have missed out something that you have not done. I think this is a time that you do a refresh, a recap, and maybe you can do something different after this. Okay, now let me share on the platforms that we have. Okay, the social media platform. Now you're already on the Facebook official page. Yeah, so I'm sure you are watching either from Facebook or from YouTube. Okay, and we do have community page as well. You can search on Solidarity Beyond 2021 community group, where we share our listings, we share some property updates, some news there. So everyone is, I mean, we can discuss everything's there lah. All right, and also we have Instagram official page as well to keep tracks on upcoming topics for the following day. Yeah, and also we have WhatsApp group, network group. You can share your listing there as well. Okay, and last but not least, we have this YouTube official channel where you can re-watch the past recorded training. Yeah, if you have missed out certain topics that you are interested in, you can always go to our YouTube channel, all right, to look for the past recording. Okay, some house regulation, all right, webinar regulation. So as usual, no chat bombing, all right. Stick to the topic. Any questions you want to ask in regards to this topic, in regards to property, you can always do so, right? Just to remind everyone, no ads, no property listing sharing here. Yeah, we just want to keep this chat box clean and to the topic. So we also encourage everyone to be participative as well. Yep. So now, topic of the day, online, offline marketing. I know that may be something very basic for some of you here, but no worries. I hope I can give some of my own experience and perspective here. So let me share my slides. Okay, today's more specifically, I want to share on marketing itself for real estate agent, because I believe that different marketing channel or different marketing tools, right, that you use, right, will allows you to tap into different pools of prospect. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of experienced negotiator here will definitely agree on this. Yeah, so I would like to share some online advertising and offline advertising. What are the differences and what kind of clients or target audience, right, you can look at when you do this and when you do that. Okay, now first thing first, before I go to online marketing or offline marketing, yeah, or specifically it's advertising, like we call it advertising, not really a marketing, because later on I will share with you what is the difference between marketing and advertising. It's totally different thing. Yeah. So first thing first, I have to understand the sales funnel. I'm sure that many of you here may have already seen this, the sales funnel. When you do sales, right, there must be a funnel so that you understand what are the next step, what can you expect. So I think earlier on, I also had the sharing on close deal from A to Z. Basically, that is the sales cycle for our real estate negotiator. And this one is most specifically for marketing itself, right? Marketing for not just for real estate negotiator, on whatever business, it must have a sales funnel. And to understand that, basically this is what came out lah. All right. So as you can see, on the first thing first is the awareness. When we talk about marketing, basically we are focusing on the awareness, creating an awareness, or in our real estate, we say prospecting lah, looking for client lah, or lead generation. Okay, so today our focus will be on this awareness thing. Okay, once we have created awareness, people somehow are quite interested, then they will actually inquire your properties through your advertising. All right, and then when we come to the second stage, which is discovery stage, not just discovery of on your clients, and also for us to discover each other lah. All right, because as they send in the inquiry, of course they would like to know your property, your listings, okay, and know you yourself as a salesperson, okay. Whereas for us is to filter, is to qualify the lead. So on this comes to stage 2, qualifying the lead, and if the client is really serious, is very interested, then we goes to initial the meeting and also find out what's the prospect really wants. Okay, I think a lot of real estate negotiator actually do not really focus on this part, whereas most of the time, I'm sure some of you may subconsciously, when clients actually ask a questions about the listings, you just send whatever information without asking questions to dig more, right? Because you already very get used to all these leads coming in, or maybe you got too many leads to actually properly qualifying them. But that is very important when we do filtration, when we do asking questions, because if you don't do that right, chances are you won't able to go to the next step, which is viewing, which is also making offer, right? On this sales funnel, the next steps is evaluation, whereby clients evaluate the properties that you propose to them. After you find out their needs already, basically they will do a evaluation stage. Okay, once they evaluate, they will make offer like if they are interested. Okay, so after that, it will go to the next step, which is the intent to purchase. I'm sure that you guys come across the normally like more senior agents, they will say intention to purchase, the intention form. So basically on this side, it's very important, negotiation and finalizing the proposal. Okay, this is stage number 6. So as you can see, when the sales funnel is like from broader to narrow, so it also means that the leads come to discovery, actually certain numbers of leads, right, doesn't go through discovery stage already. So there is also certain data analytics that you need to do to find out, hey, actually your sales funnel, is it okay or not, from awareness to discovery back until purchase and loyalty. Okay, now after the intention to purchase already, after SMP sign, meaning is on the purchase, which is closing deal. All right, and last but not least, on stage 8, which is delivery of the property. Okay, VP already in order to create loyalty. I think this is very important for real estate negotiator. Okay, is to come up with provide after sales service. Oh yeah, Frank, thanks a lot. Yes, miss out one, stage 5. Actually, it's stage 5, 6, 7. Okay, thanks for highlighting that. Okay, so yeah, back to the last one, which is the loyalty, which is the after sales service lah. As a real estate negotiator, it's very important to provide after sales service. For example, project agent, you can always advise client, hey, we can do tenancy administration, tenancy management, or you can even propose a defect check or defect company, defect agencies or company that can provide this after VP a defect check. So these are the after service that you can provide. And for sub-sale agents, of course, we always tell our clients that our service doesn't just stop as SPA sign. We also handle from A to Z, from delivery of the key as well. Yeah. So additional service, you can also include tenancy administration as well if your team is doing it. Okay. Now, I want to ask the question is, do you know there's a difference between marketing and advertising? There is two, actually there's a differences here. So what I'm going to share here is that the first, what is marketing? So basically marketing is something that is long term. When we say we set up a marketing campaign, basically when it says a campaign means long term. It can be 2 months, it can be 1 month, it can be 2 months, it can be 3 months, it can be a whole year. So we have to plan out what is our marketing plan, marketing campaign. So marketing and advertising is very different. So marketing, you need to do a lot of understanding, market research, which I think previously we also shared on this already. Okay, you can check on our previous sharing on YouTube that is recorded, that we already shared with you how to do market study, how to do research, where do you do research, okay, how do you do it. So on marketing side, you need a strategic planning. After you plan, you need to implement. So maybe you have a few channels that you want to advertise. Okay, so what is it? How are you going to do it? After that, you need to monitor and adjust based on the sales funnel that you have already set up. Okay, so marketing is something long term. You want to increase the exposure, and at the end of the day, the end goal is to convert sales. All right. Now, what about advertising? Advertising is actually a part or a component of marketing. You can advertise on online, you can advertise on offline, okay, right? And normally advertising is expensive because you need to spend money, okay? Marketing can also include branding as well, but branding is not advertising, okay? Put it this way, marketing have branding, have advertising, whereas advertising is part of marketing, but branding is part of marketing as well. Okay, I hope I don't confuse everyone. And advertising is something more shorter term. Yeah, so it's to create the awareness. Advertising is to create the awareness to generate lead. Okay, to induce the customer to inquire so that we can go to the next stage, which is the discovery stage. All right. So I hope that is clear. Now, before advertising, like I said, you need a plan. Okay, you need a marketing plan, or when you create a campaign, you need to have a plan what you're gonna do. Okay, after you come up with the plan, you have to implement it. You have to monitor it. You have to adjust it. I'm sure that especially for project agents that they have doing Facebook marketing, this is something that constantly changing one, right? Sub-sale agents also the same. You have to do that as well. So on that, what's your marketing plan? First thing first, you have to understand your property listing first. Okay, whether it is residential, whether it is commercial, whether it is industrial, whether it is block deals. Because, like I said, I mentioned many times already. On this understanding your listings, not all the listings are the same. The way you promote, the way you advertise is gonna be different. Okay, so residential, you have to separate residential where you want to advertise. Commercial, what is the most effective way of advertising? And then industrial and also block deal is gonna be different. Okay, and then low, medium, high is what means the competitiveness of when you want to promote this property. Okay, whether it's a low competition when you advertise in iProperty, for example. So how many agents actually posting? Is it very competitive, low, medium, high? Then you have to adjust accordingly to your plan. Okay, and last but not least, I think this one I shared before as well. Okay, but today's main topic is that the marketing channels, advertising channels that we can implement. Okay, last but not least, exclusive or non-exclusive. Exclusive, you need to spend more, put more effort. Some agents, they may have 100, 200 listings. Of course, not all the listings you can focus, right? So whether this is exclusive, of course, you need to spend more money, spend more time, spend more effort on that lah. Okay, now move on. You have, after you understand all your listings, then you have to grade your listings already. Whether this is grade A, grade B, grade C. Okay, we also share on the traffic light system lah. Basically, if like grade A, then you need to premium it, you need to feature it, you need to spotlight it. Grade B, yes, you advertise it. all right, and constantly update your owner, see whether the price can be adjusted or not. Okay, and then grade C is the property that is over market, above market price. Okay, condition maybe not so good, then you may want to review it. Okay, last but not least, prioritize lah. Which one? Grade A has to spend more. Grade B maybe not so. Grade C maybe review stage. Okay, quickly run through it. So on marketing side, of course, marketing, just like I mentioned, branding falls under marketing. Okay, same as advertising falls under marketing. So on branding side, we can do branding on a few channel. For example, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like younger generation, the Gen Z, they are all on TikTok. Okay, I also noticed some of the experienced real estate negotiator, the bosses is also doing TikTok already. So you may not want to miss the train. And last but not least, for your branding or advertising purpose, you can also create your own website. I've come across these questions by another real estate negotiator, right? He was asking me, hey, is it still working? Is it still work to do a website, meaning create your own branding, own website? So the answer is yes, because this is part of your branding, is something that long-term one. When people start to recognize you, your website will be very, very powerful to generate leads. Okay. At the same time, on your website, you can also create your own, post your own listings there as well, right? So it works both for your branding purposes and for advertising purposes. Okay. And then next would be property listing portal. I'm sure that you guys know more types of property listing portal than me, but I just want to highlight a few that I think is very effective. Okay, like iProperty, Property Guru, Muda, HProp, Star Property, Prop Social. All right, these are more common one. It's been in the market for at least 4-5 years already lah. Okay, iProperty, Property Guru, Muda is even much longer than that. Okay, so these are the listing portals that you can advertise, and also WhatsApp and forum as well. WhatsApp meaning co-agency group, we can blast it out, or forums. Like for example, Laoyak forums, there's a Chari forum, there's a lot of forums that you can do advertising. Okay, do not neglect that, because you never know. You never know, especially on the forums, right? If you are constantly doing it, you give you a lot of your own opinions, of your own review of certain topics of property. Actually, you can build yourself your reputation and credibility as well. That's where your clients, out of nowhere, they will come and contact you. And also one thing that I miss out is actually Facebook. Facebook on community group is also very effective. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to share on the branding itself. So basically, I share on the left-hand side is actually one of our agents' Facebook page. She focused very much on Metro Park in Subang Jaya, and she created this page. Actually, what I really impressed is that basically what she does when she create this Facebook page for branding purposes, all right, not so much of posting listings. Earlier on, I think we have one session for Facebook marketing from ST. ST shared that contents create 70%, 30% is on the listings. Yes, which is, I think, more importantly is the content part. All right, what are the things that you share? So like for example, this of our agents actually do a lot of content sharing. Okay, not so much of listings. And what happens, what she does is that she get a lot of reviews. Okay, she get her clients to review on this Facebook page. Okay, later on she sponsored it because she focused very much. She's the specialist there, right? So this is one way that I think you can use it as well. I think that's very good, because when your Facebook has a lot of reviews already, and when then you started to boost it out to the public, paid a small amount of money to make it public, make it sponsored, that's where you can see people start inquiring, because there's a review. It's like nowadays you go to Shopee or Lazada, when you want to buy products, you also read their reviews, right? So if you want to get reviews, one of the ways is to create a Facebook page and get them to review that, because that is something public and everyone can see. Okay, that is not just sub-sale, it can be applies to project as well. So like I said, marketing plan is very important because you have to identify your position, what kind of position you want to create, positioning lah. Okay, whether you want to position yourself as a property investment guru or yourself as an area specialist or condo specialist. Yeah, so what's your position? You have to think of that, plan it out. And also what's next will be your content creation. What kind of content you want to share? Maybe if you say you want to focus in this condominium, you just share whatever latest news in this condo to this page. Then it becomes a community page for the residents as well. So when you boost up these ads, right, this page, right, so when they follow, they also will recommend, because clearly this is a real estate negotiator that created this page. There's new listings coming up. So um, whenever the community looking, or their friends or family who are looking for property in this condominium, then they will contact you. All right, this is one way. I just give you an example. And then ultimately you want to build your followers. Okay, what's the objective? Ultimately, we want to do convert sales or recruitment. Yes, what I missed out earlier one is that you can also create pages, your business page, for recruitment purpose as well. It doesn't have to be generating sales, but if you say, hey, I want to do recruitment, then you can share a lot of your own agencies updates, the latest trends, the latest news, the latest things that your agency is doing. Like for example, Solidarity Beyond 2021 is something that you can share into your own Facebook business page. Okay, so depends on your objective, depends on your position. Okay, it applies to Instagram and TikTok as well. Yeah. Now, I would like to share some effective property portals. As we all know, all these iProperty, Property Guru, Mudah, HProps are effective. But of course, in my opinion, just in my opinion, there are certain any of the platform, they have their own target audience. Okay, right? For example, iProperty, most of the time, if you have a lot of high-end listings, right, over millions one, first choice for me would be iProperty. And the posting actually is quite cheap. If you sign up a package, it's about one new listings, it costs you about 1 credit, which is after my conversion is about 1 ringgit lah. Okay, relatively cheap. Okay, and feature credit is about 7 to 10 ringgit. It depends on the features that the package that you sign up. Okay, one important thing on iProperty is that your township, the column of township, right? Especially you are doing landed property, your township has to be very careful, because if you miss out certain keywords, sometimes your client cannot find your listings. For example, I just give you an example. Today, if in your township, the column of township, you just type UFJ, right? Then if your client want to look for Subang area, then it won't come out. So your township, the column have to be very careful lah. I would suggest you to put UFJ and then Subang. Some agents, right, they somehow abuse it, or UFJ1, UFJ2, UFJ3, whatever, they put everything there. But of course, as I know, iProperty is very strict on that. They will do a checking one. So when whoever report, they will pull the advertisement down and ask you to amend it lah. So for iProperty, in my opinion, it can be ranged from lower end to higher end. Especially if you are doing higher end one, I would suggest you to go for iProperty. Yeah. Now, next, Property Guru is also for any price range as well. Costings wise, I would say per posting wise lah, I would say Property Guru is relatively cheap. Okay, so one posting is only cost about 1 ringgit. Depends on your posting as well. It can be lower than 1 ringgit. So I'm just using an average. And to repost it, whenever you posted already, the advertisement is up, right? When you want to repost, it will use 2 credits in this case. So it depends on how often you do the reposting. Okay, and then same thing, the key point is the location and the property name, because this is whatever you type on the location and the property name will be the search search engine is lah. This is where they search, or whether you type UFJ or Subang, this is what they were going to reflect it. Okay, for Property Guru, I think they are even more wider. I mean, like even for much lower end or high end, also you will get inquiry. And preferably, I myself lah, high rises, condominium, I would prefer Property Guru. Yeah, iProperty landed, I think is fantastic. So is my own opinion lah on this part. Okay, on Muda, one posting is about 5 ringgit per credit. Quite expensive if you ask me per posting, but is very effective as well. Okay, some listings or some property listings is even more effective in Muda compared to the rest. All right, why? Because they have bigger crowds for Malay and Indian customer base. So if we are doing areas such as Shah Alam, such as Rawang, actually you can get a lot of leads on. Okay, if you are doing rental, you can get a lot of leads. If you are doing factories also, commercial also, you can get a lot of leads from Muda. Just to share, one of my agent actually just posted one commercial lot in Shah Alam Kota Kemuning area. On the same day itself, it already got an inquiry already. So that is really, you have to understand the platform that you are using, which one is more effective than the other one. Okay, this is just sharing on my experience. Yeah. And then last but not least, HProp. HProp used to be free, but now HProp also have to subscribe as well to their pro account. Okay, one good thing about HProp is that it has unlimited posting. So once you sign up for the pro account, it's in a package, you can actually post it unlimited. However, if you want to feature it, there's a credits for you to, it will be deducted lah, the feature credit. They will give you a certain amount of feature credit to feature it one. So in my opinion, HProp are getting more and more effective. Okay, last time you said HProp maybe not so much lead, but now you see a lot of agents are getting leads from HProp already, especially if you have a lot of commercial listings or factory listings, you can post that. Okay, I'm not saying that HProp cannot post residentials. HProp also can post residential. In fact, one of our agents who focus in Ara Damansara residential actually got a lot of leads, and also he himself being featured in HProp newspaper. Okay, and like I said, target audience more of corporate work, more of white collar lah. Okay, so you have to understand your property, you have to understand your listings, and see which one is more effective for you. Okay, so I'm sure you guys also know some of these property portals. For example, Prop Social, Star Property, Facebook Marketplace is commonly our agents use it to advertise their listings. It's free, of course. There is also a paid function also lah. Okay, you can post it free, but maybe it's not as effective. But you still can generate leads. You still can get leads one. Yeah, but of course, when you pay, you will get better result lor. Okay, one of the free property portals that I want to share is this Find Me Prop. Actually, I've spoken to one of their leader earlier on. I noticed that a lot of real estate negotiator actually go to this Find Me Prop to advertise already. What happened is that on these portals, right, these property portals, what you can see is that they have a review function. Basically, they will have a column that review these agents. Is it 5-star, 4-star, 3-star? So if you can provide a very good service, right, I think Find Me Prop can really help you to get the clients. Okay, so I would advise you to explore that as well. Okay, Starproperty.my last time was PropWall. Now they come under Star Property already. Okay, and then last but not least, Facebook Marketplace. If you have, I think in my opinion, Facebook Marketplace is quite similar to Muda, but of course this one is free lah. Okay, and you need to spend a little bit more time to qualify your leads compared to the rest. I think the rest has better quality in terms of lead generation. Facebook, yes, you can get a lot of inquiry also, but you need to spend a little bit more on qualifying the leads. Okay, So far, so good. So far, following. If you are still following, can you press 2 in the chat box? Okay, so that I know that you guys are following. Yeah. So if you are still following, please press 2. I hope it doesn't bore you because this is more fundamental, but it's also very important for the new agents, especially. Yep. Thank you so much, everyone still following well. Yeah. Now, I move to the next one, which is listing description. I want to highlight here the way of listing. How do you put the listings, the description? Everyone do it very differently, lah. But for me, what is more important is that it has to be straightforward. It has to be short for sub-sale, especially for project. You need to elaborate. You need to paint a very beautiful story for especially for project and especially for high-end listings. If you focus in Bangsa, if you focus in Damansara, right? Actually, the features, what is the square feet, what is the room size, whatever, the things that can see on iProperty already, I think is not too important. What the people who wanted high-end is basically the feeling, the emotions. Okay, so the description may be different one. Okay, cannot be the same, but what I share here is something more general, like how I do a write up for my description. I do it very straightforward because I used to focus a lot of residential. Yeah. So what I normally include will be the property details, the facilities, the amenity nearby, the accessibilities, and also one good thing. And I notice a lot of agents that do not do is actually to include other listings that you have in your listing description, because maybe this client, right, they saw your listings already, but they find it may not be so suitable, but if they see that you got other few listing in the same area or same condo, highly likely they will contact you straight because they also do not want to contact so many agents to view different property. If you can include other listings that you have within the same area or same condominium, I believe that will be helpful. Okay. In fact, I noticed some of the very experienced real estate negotiator has been doing it, and I think you should too. Okay. Now these are the sample lah, how I do the write up, but of course you can improve on that. Okay. Now, another way of advertising is WhatsApp co-agency group. There's so many co-agency group you can join. This is one of the sample that I have. Of course, I have more co-agency group in my WhatsApp. So, in my opinion, this is the most easiest, the fastest way of getting inquiry. Meaning, whenever I got clients, right, but I do not have listings, right, the first thing first, I do not go to iProperty or Property Guru or online property portals to look for listings to co-broke. I normally go to all these WhatsApp group to blast one round first, because this one, whenever an agent saw my listings, right, if they have, they will contact me. So far, the result, I'm quite impressed, because this one saved me a lot of time to go to iProperty to really look for it. But of course, this is the first thing I will do, and then the next, then only I go to the property portals to find out, because maybe some of them that when they propose, right, may not be the right listings that you want. Then you have to go to the property portals to co-broke lah. This is the situation whereby you need to co-broke. You do not have direct owner listings. Okay, so I would say the more co-agency group you have, the better for you. Okay, because speed is also very important. Like we have mentioned many times, it's about speed and the quality of service lah. So for me, the easiest, the fastest way of getting co-broke listings is to blast it to the group. Okay, right. Okay, I have covered online advertising, like I mentioned, advertising already. I would like to share a little bit more of offline advertising, what you can do. Okay, so offline advertising, I'm going to share 6 six way of doing offline advertising. Of course, there are more. Definitely, there are more. But I would like to share some of the one that I think is quite effective. First is newspaper, magazine. I will go into detail later. Flyering, brochures. I'm sure that some of you here still been practicing, especially experienced negotiator. Number three, house banner, signboard. What are the things that you need to be aware of when you do house banner, when you do signboard? There are certain things you need to be aware lah. Open house, networking, referrals, and last but not least, hosting free property event. Okay, now go to the first one first. Newspaper, is it still works? Maybe I ask this question. Anyone here still do newspaper advertisement? One of the offline advertising method. Any one of you here still doing newspaper advertisement? Maybe you can put a 3 here in the chat, in the comment section. Put number 3 so that we know, hey, you're still doing newspaper. And what do you think about newspaper advertising? No, Caroline say no. Yes, I think in my opinion, newspaper advertising is getting not as effective as last time already. Okay, in fact, I don't see people are doing newspaper advertising anymore. But the truth is, newspaper advertising still work for certain clients. Okay, especially you want to sell land, you want to sell buildings. I would still recommend you to do newspaper advertisement. Just to share with you, one of our client, high profile client lah, basically, he has multiple properties lah, a big amount of property portfolio. Normally, he will check out newspaper one to look for property, because he is looking into commercials and industrial lots. On and off, he will send to us, hey, I'm looking for this property. Can you contact? Just so happened today, same thing. He contacted us lah. So what I'm trying to say is that maybe you are doing residential, you are not actively doing it, but for newspaper or magazine classifications, right, there's still a small pool of clients actually still read that to look for listing one. So if you have, you should also advertise, like, especially I would recommend for those who focusing in factories and land, because these people's the target clients are more elderly buyers. Yeah, still applicable for larger. Yes, Audrey mentioned here, still applicable for commercial lands and industrial. Yes, correct. I totally agree that, because this just today morning only, our client just shared one of the listing posted in the newspaper. So yeah, so do not miss out. That's why I want to share today's this topic, is because different channel, right? You can tap into different pool of clients one. So you may not want to miss out, because every one different step that we take, there will be surprise. That is the fun part of real estate. Yeah, the more you do, the more effort you put in, the more activities you do, right, you can see results. Okay, because at one time, I really do not believe in flyering, because flyering take time. So but when I was very active that time, I also consistently doing flyering. So this is the next topic that I want to share on flyering. So for flyering, of course, normally what I do flyering, right, is to get owner listings, okay, to get them to inquire my service, to consult me on their property price, what is the market price, and then if they are interested to sell, they will of course ask me to help them to sell. Otherwise, I think it's a service for them lah. Later on, they will still remember me. So I just want to share some experience of mine when I do flyering, okay? Because I do it every quarterly, and at I think 3 years ago, I consistently doing it lah. So I distribute the whole Subang Jaya. Some of the residents here may receive my flyers before. So what happened is that normally the owners, right, they will keep the the flyers in their one corner. And then whenever they feel like selling, they will contact you. So flyers, yes, it takes time, okay? It takes maybe a couple months so that you can see the result. But good thing about flyering, right, for me is that it's easier, higher chance of getting exclusive. Because these kind of clients, right, they do not know iProperty, they do not know Property Guru, they do not know digital lah, okay, the digital marketing way. So what they have been receiving is either they look at the house banner, they call the agents, or the flyers that they receive in the mailbox. So one thing I want to specifically highlight here is that there is a standard format for your flyers one. Okay, you cannot simply just print yourself, or you think that this flyer I just distribute lah. What I want to say is that there is certain format you need to follow. First thing first, you need to have the agency letterhead, okay? And then it has to specify whether this property is for sale, for rent, to lease, or be wanted, okay? And also you need to have a rent number, to have the principal to sign off, okay? The address of the firm has to be there as well. And one important thing that is stated in Bovia or MIEA, you can see is that for flyering, you need to put this word: person responding to this flyer are not required to pay any estate agency fee whatsoever for properties referred to this flyer, as the firm is already retained by a particular principal. Okay, so the font size has to be similar to general content of the flyer. So just to highlight here, your flyer has to need to have this lah. It doesn't mean that the receive flyer they do not have to pay agency fee when you sell. Okay, so this is the terms that you need to put in to protect yourself as well. Yeah. So to me, flyering brochure still work, especially if your intention is that, hey, I got too many listings that other agents also have. Okay, but I do not have enough own listing that is exclusive to you. Flyering is one of the venue you want to look into. Yeah. To be frank, I think if you do flyering by yourself, it can be quite tiring. So how I started off is that, because at the very beginning, when I first start off as a real estate negotiator, I do not have the budget to hire someone to do it, so I do it myself. So whenever I close deal, I reinvest back my business. So that's very important. And then later on, I spend 1,000 plus lah. I think, remember, less than 1,500 to actually distribute the flyers to the whole Subang Jaya. 30 over 1,000, if I remember correctly, to distribute the whole Subang Jaya. So I get a printing company to do the printing, and then I get a flyer distribution company to do the flyering. Of course, you will say, hey, can distribute to condominium or not? The answer is no lah. Of course, they do not allow to. So we only distribute to those open housing area. Okay, if you want to distribute condominium, you have to do it at your own risk lah. Still can do it one, still effective one. So just take some time, right? Now, house banner, very effective. To me, I like using house banner, especially if you are doing landed property. If you have landed property, if you think that, I think one most concerns for real estate negotiator nowadays is that they are worried of undercut lah, can go direct to the owner. To me, it's really about the speed. Okay, so I don't care. I still put that if they can find the owner. Ultimately, I believe on my own professional. I believe on my own quality of service lah. So I still put, and I think why I prefer house banner is because the quality of the leads that come in. Okay, so if says that the client contact you the banners, right? Chances are they already interested into purchasing or into renting the house already. Just that the pricing has to be right, the layout, the renovation, maybe another thing that to consider lah. But at least they have seen the house already. They are more likely to proceed, more easier to close. Okay, so for banner also there is a requirement, a standard to use one. You cannot just simply put up a banner without an agency name, without the rent number. Okay, if you do that, chances are can be reported to the board and you'll be fined. okay, the fine is quite heavy, because if you do that, it seems like you are a broker, an illegal real estate negotiator, illegal agent. So please make sure your banner have agency name, your RAN number is there, your contact number is there, and also has to be big lah. I think our Audrey shared before, your banner has to be big, has to be sharp, it can be seen from afar. Okay, so this is one important thing as well. I think earlier on Audrey shared this topic called effective lead generation, and those who have missed out, I think you should watch it again, because there's a lot of useful tips for you. Okay, one of the things that he shared is has to have a bigger banner. All right, yeah, invest in banners, yes, correct, because to me that's the one of the best advertising medium lah. Yeah. Now come to open house. I'm not too sure any of you done open house before. If you have done open house before, can you type a 4? Anyone have done open house before? No one, yeah, because I think nowadays a lot of us prefer to do online advertising rather than offline advertising, and in fact, open house is not so common among the agents. All right, Mr. Ting has actually done it before. Caroline has done it before. Yeah, the experienced agents, surely they have done it before. And what I can say is that it still works. Especially recently, I spoken to Audrey. He said yes. He also agreed that open house, this method is coming back. Yeah, especially if you do those high end bungalows in Bangsa, in Damansara, you see those agents that focus in that area doing a lot of open house rather than online marketing. They do not do much of the online advertising. They focus a lot on open house. There must be a reason one, and because open house actually can invite a lot of people that within the community, right? So, but it's very important when you do open house, right? You have to plan out properly. You can't say, oh, tomorrow I want to do open house. It doesn't work that way. It has to be properly planned. Mr. Ting was saying old school, but old school still work. There's no old school doesn't work. Old school still works one. Yeah. And like I mentioned, it has to be planned properly. So what you need to do is to set out a date and the time when is the open house going to happen. And my advice is you need to plan like 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks ahead, or even longer. Why? Because you want to gather the pool of clients and make sure they are registered and they have go through the flows lah. You want to make sure the flow is properly controlled. Okay, first thing first, set out the time and the period of date first, the date and the period of time first, and then what you need to do is to do invitation, whether it's on the flyering, SMS, WhatsApp blasting for invitation to your co-agents as well. Yeah, normally when you have doing open house, most of the time you are exclusive agent, you will do that. Yeah, because it spends some money. You need to spend money and the time. So normally exclusive listings, we advise you to do that. Okay, do invitations by flyering. Okay, by flyering meaning flying to the neighborhoods. Because you never know that some of the parents are buying house for their children. So this is one example lah. And also SMS, WhatsApp blastings. Okay, after that you have to schedule your appointments. Those you make sure that there is a registration for them to register, because you do not want that everyone come to at the same time. You got no time to actually handle them. So I think that is a one big thing that you need to be aware of lah. Make sure everyone who registered, you schedule the appointment. Do not want them to come in, everyone come at the same time. Yeah. Now, so you also want to make sure there is a registration for walk-in. Okay, you want to set up a table there so that they can register themselves and appointment. I can foresee moving forward, if this pandemic is open, open house is going to be come back. you need to have what do you call that, the temperature check, the sanitizer all ready lah for this. But now we can't do it open house lah, but later on I'm sure we can do that. This has to be the health check all has to be in place lah, right? After registration, after you attend the appointment, make sure you do the follow-up. All right, and last but not least, to close deal lah. So like I said, you need to plan it out. You need to, and what happened for open house is that you also can put the nice color ribbons. I don't know how it's like those colorful thing hanging outside the house one. It's very effective for gated and guarded area. Thanks, Mr. Ting, for the input. Yes, because it's a closed community. So to go through gated and guarded, you need invitation also. I'm surely that is very effective lah for to do an open house for gated guarded area. Okay, now let's move to networking and referral. To me, this is something extra step a lot of our negotiator can do, which a lot of us is not doing, is to do networking, is to attend networking event. Yeah. So first thing first, if you do not have not done that first, if you are new to the industry, make sure you yourself position yourself as a real estate negotiator first lah. Introduce yourself to your friends, your families that you are doing real estate, so that you can start getting leads already. Okay, you do not really have to advertise in iProperty or the property platform first. You should introduce yourself to your family and friends so that they know that you are in this industry and they will start referring clients to you. Yeah, that is the first thing first as a real estate negotiator. When you first started, you should do, right? So secondly, when it comes to networking or referrals, what I like to do is to do area rounding. Okay, always have your name card ready. So when it comes to area rounding, I'm not too sure how you guys do it, but how I used to do it, right? When I do area rounding, right? Whenever I see an uncle or auntie come out of the house and they are watering their plants or drying their clothes, right? I would go there and politely greet them and introduce myself. This is one way of networking. Yeah, it doesn't mean that they already have the house property for you to sell, but make yourself well known in the community, because if you consistently doing it, you will see that it will bear fruits for you. Yeah, and also when we say area rounding, also you may also notice some of the owner, they themselves put up the banners outside of the property to look for buyers lah. And then as a real estate negotiator, we can call them. Okay, I'm sure that many of you here has been doing it already, but have you tried to talk to the peoples there as well? I mean, to the residents there. Of course, not intruding lah, but in a more polite, a more subtle way. Yeah, and always make sure you have your name card ready. Okay, do not go do area rounding and then without the name card. When you meet people, you make sure you have your name card ready on. Okay, and then also next would be business or social networking events. You can check out eventbrite.com. You can check out meetup.com. So these are the platform whereby you can check, is there any business networking event you can attend? Like I'm sure some of you here may have already attended BNI, okay, Business Networking International, which I've attended before, but it's challenging for me because I have to wake up very early. But otherwise, I think it's a very good platform, because one of my leader here, actually, he is very active in BNI. And in fact, through BNI, this kind of social business networking, not social, business networking event brings him those high profile clients, because this kind of business networking event, you maybe those people that you meet, they may be interested in buying properties or investing in properties, but more importantly, on this kind of business networking event, they tend to share their clients among them, more of a cross-selling lah. So why not? There's this opportunity, because to me, every small step, every one more activity you do to add on whatever currently you're doing, you just add one more activity only. you will see different result one. I can guarantee you that. Yeah. So whatever I mentioned earlier, it's like just one step only. Because why I say this, because I like to play sport, I like to play futsal. So my colleague always say, hey, you run one more step, you can make a difference, which I think is very applicable for our business as well. You just want to add one more activity only. In fact, if you have done all the online market advertising, offline advertising, you just add one more to it, you will see a difference. Okay. Last but not least, hosting property event. I'm not sure any one of you done it before, but I'm sure agency have done it lah, on an agency level. On a real estate negotiator level, I'm not sure if you guys have done it before. If you position yourself as a property guru, property expert on your own niche, you can do it. Okay. In fact, I just been doing it online recently. Okay. I've been doing online property event for my clients to actually get leads. So what's the good thing about hosting event is that you create your credibility, create your brand, okay, and you get leads. So I started this online one. I'm doing online events for the past 2 months. I would say the results are great. In fact, we have not spent a lot of we don't spend at all on advertisement to generate all the leads to attend this event. Okay. What I did was because our team doing a lot of property investment, we target property investors basically with the rating system. So we run this property online event. It creates leads, a lot of leads actually. Yeah. So you can do that as well. If you're not doing it offline, you can do it online. Yeah. So not just education. Basically, when we do property events, right, we can't really sell something one, because no people want to feel like you are selling something. Yeah. So we need to give values. We need to give educational input or values to our clients. Then later on, when they feel like comfortable, then confidence, you build your own credibility. Only then you sell your service. Okay, that's how we do it, how I do it. Okay, so if you have not done it, you can look into it and start doing it yourself. Yeah. Especially those who are doing project, I would highly recommend you to do online webinar, online property events lah. I'll call it webinar lah, to actually hosting, share your knowledge, educational topics, and then later on your clients will follow you. You build your own reputation. All right. Once you got the leads, they had registered your already, you have to nurture them and convert them into your sales. Okay. So far, any questions, guys? Any questions? I hope basically this is the end of my sharing. I hope that it gives you some perspective. I think the key highlight I want to tell, or I want to share here, is that add one more task lah, one or two more activities to whatever you are doing already, you will definitely see results. That one I can guarantee you. Okay, because most of us are really comfortable with what we are doing, and we are not comfortable to add more stuff to us because we are not familiar. Yeah, but like I said, just one or two more, you will see different result. This is what I've been doing, and I've seen results. Only then I dare to say this to you. I can guarantee you will see results because I've done it. Okay. So even the online property events, right? At first I was like quite doubtful because it's not something I comfortable of doing at the beginning. But now I've been running this online event for two months already. In fact, 4 or 5 events already. The results are good. I got a lot of leads. So you can do it as well lah. Yeah. So any questions for me? Any questions for me so far? I think this topic is relevant, relatively general. So maybe not so much of questions. Okay, Malaysia Top Realtor. What platform is best for webinar? Facebook Live. Okay, my suggestion, if you want to do a webinar, right, I would recommend you to use Zoom. You do not want to use Facebook Live because ultimately you want them to be registered, okay, and closed door as well, as in like rather than share it publicly. On public, you can do sharing. You are not generating leads. If you have no intention of generating leads and to convert, then you do Facebook Live. But I think the ultimate goal for webinar is to generate leads and convert sales, right? So I recommend you use Zoom. Okay, Zoom is sufficient. Because why? Because you want everyone to be registered. Because I also got my friends asking, hey, why not you do Facebook Live? I say it doesn't work because I do not know who actually watch it and I cannot do a follow-up. I want them to be registered and then so that I can follow up with them later on. Yeah. So yeah, highly recommend Zoom or Google Meet lah. Okay, Andrew actually shared joint yearly MAREC convention organized by MIEA, which is true because you can do networking there as well. Okay, this is what's shared by MIEA also good for networking. A lot of registered member there as well can do networking, right? Because ultimately we are on the platform on this Solidarity Beyond 2021 platform is to leverage on each other to solidify all our real estate negotiator lah. Okay, if there is no questions, that's the end of my sharing today. Okay, rather a brief, general one. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have another interesting topic as well. Okay, at the same time, I would like to get everyone's feedback as well so that we can get to improve further. There's one question from Bia Kang. Do you think bulk SMS, WhatsApp, blasting are effective in lead generation? Depends on the peoples that you blast to, Bia Kang, to answer you that. Okay, you don't simply blast it. So it depends on what is your objective. If you say that, oh, I do WhatsApp blasting or SMS blasting to get owners, right? So make sure that the list that you have is good one, okay. I think it's still very effective one, but you have to be very careful of PDPDA. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow. Okay. Tomorrow we will have a topic on Facebook marketing as well. Okay. See you guys tomorrow and have a good day. Thank you very much.